ammonia smelling nappy. Something that every cloth nappy parent dreads. Any kind of smelly nappy. It doesn't have to just be ammonia, and the steps that I will set out to fix ammonia smells in your nappy can be applied to any kind of smelly nappy. Other smells that you could get, some people report getting like a hamster cage smell, which is often because you're not using enough detergent. Nappies smelling really strongly of detergent, which is detergent build up and can cause problems with absorbency, and nappy rash means you're using too much detergent. And ammonia smells, they're the three that are most common, and there is one simple way to fix all of them, and that is by tweaking your wash routine and doing a simple strip wash. What is ammonia to start with? If you're worrying about it, it's basically a natural chemical that is in urine, and it can build up in cloth nappies if you don't have a sufficient wash routine. And now they might come out of the washing machine smelling beautifully clean, but if there is build up in there, then when fresh urine hits the stale urine and hits the build up, it will create a chemical reaction and will smell bad. You'll know the smell by it literally burns the hairs of your nose. If you're unsure of it, what it is, it's probably not ammonia build up. But if it's smelly anyway, you want to fix that. So let's fix any kind of smells. But if it's that burning smell, that's what ammonia is. The rash that it causes looks more like sunburn because it is essentially a burn rather than a rash. If it's not too bad, I would suggest just slapping lots of cream in the area when you're doing nappy changes, but not all of the time. Do it particularly when you're putting your baby to bed, because they're going to be in the nappy all night. But I do suggest letting the skin breathe as well. So by not putting on it every nappy change, you don't want to clog the skin up, but also lots of nappy free time, letting some fresh air get to the area will help. If you feel like it's bad, we had ammonia build up once when my daughter was about 4 months old, and I took her to the GP. The GP was really understanding. She actually thought it was probably a reaction to the detergent we were using as well, which it turned out it was, and she was really helpful, really understanding, and she just gave us some steroid cream which cleared it up within a couple of days. So if you're worried about it, head to your GP, and that's the best thing you can do. But remember, you're not a terrible parent for letting this happen. These things do happen. We live and we learn. Get some nice cream to sort out your baby's bottom and move on. Let's fix this. Don't feel guilt, don't feel bad. Let's just sort it out and get on with it. So there are two ways to fix ammonia smells or any smells in your nappy. The first way is to do a really deep strip and sanitize, it's called, and I actually don't recommend doing this unless you really feel you need to. I did do this when we had ammonia buildup, and it did work really well, but I didn't know about the simple way, so that could have fixed it first had I tried it. But the other reason that you might do a full strip and sanitize is perhaps if you've bought pre-loved nappies and you want to get them really clean. The method I'm going to suggest is actually from Clean Cloth Nappies Down Under. Now I will link them below. They are a really good resource for all things getting nappies clean. I do believe now that their recipe for the strip and sanitize is behind a paywall, so I won't give you the exact recipe. I don't actually have the exact one that I used from memory without paying to see it, but I do recommend that if you want to do it. It uses a really small amount of Vanish and a really small amount of bleach. So some people really don't like the idea of using bleach on their nappies. It's a really small amount in a lot of water. It will get rid of ammonia, and if you wash it well out of your nappies afterwards, it won't cause a problem at all. It could incur a warranty on your nappies because you're told not to use bleach on them, so if that's a problem to you, maybe you don't want to do that. But it does really work really well, and it just involves simply soaking it in Vanish for a couple of hours, then rinsing them, then soaking them in bleach. I believe the way it works is that the Vanish brings the ammonia to the surface and then bleach kills it all and gets rid of it all, and then you rinse it again, you wash them then in the washing machine without detergent to get everything off, then with detergent, and then without again. So it is quite a long process, so that is something you might want to do. However, please first try out this simple basic method for just stripping your nappies. All you need to do is to simply wash your nappies as you normally would with my full washing guide. guide and tweak your wash routine first, like I talk about in my washing guide, and I will tell you about that in a second. Just to simply say that you will wash it first on a full wash with full detergent at 60 degrees. Once your nappies are clean, you then put them on the same wash again without detergent, and this will make sure that everything gets rid of any yuckiness, any detergent buildup, any smells from your nappies. You can do this several times and that will help it as well. That is a really simple way. So washing them as you normally would, full detergent, 60 degrees, then doing the same thing again without any detergent, and you can do that several times. Now the reason I talk about tweaking your wash routine, because essentially if you're getting any smells in your nappies, it's because you've got an insufficient wash routine. You could fall into the trap, and I've heard it talked about on a podcast, I will link it below, I think it's the Cloth Nappy podcast. It really made sense when they said it, because we did find those smells sort of came around the time of weaning, more concentrated wheeze. So people can sort of think, oh well, they're either teething or they're weaning, because sometimes their wee smells a bit more at those times, it becomes more concentrated, so that's why the nappies are smelling. But don't get lulled into that, because it's just showing up an insufficiency in your wash routine. At no point should your nappies smell of anything. They should just smell clean, not of detergent, not of barnyard, hamster cage smells, not of ammonia. They should smell of nothing. Baby's wee is concentrated and it's making your nappies smell. I still think that that means there's an insufficiency in your wash routine and you should look at tweaking it. So the reason I call it tweaking is because it's going to look different to every parent, and that's why I just give you a recipe to help you to do it. The factors that change it for each parent, each family, each cloth nappy user is how big your washing machine is. So I have a 9k drum, which is really big and means I need a lot of washing detergent. I think it's like 210 mils, which looks tons, but because I've got such a big machine, I really need it. It will also be dependent on how hard the water is in your area. We have really hard water, so again I need the full amount that the detergent guide recommends, which you will find on the side of your box of detergent. And so it's just a formula to say, like, if you're in hard water or soft water, this is how much you should use. Add this much on top of that for how big your washing machine is, and add this much on top of that for like heavy soiling, which, you know, nappies are. So you're going to need to add that extra. I think it's like add extra 50 mils or something for heavy soiling. Do add that as well. So that will be the full amount. If you're then finding that at the end of the wash cycle there's still suds in your washing machine, or your nappies come out smelling strongly of detergent, then it means it's too much. So the next time, just like take it down by 10 mils and try that out. And if the same thing has happened, take it down by 10 mils the next time again, until you find that perfect balance. If that happens as well, in the meantime, before the next wash, just give your nappies an extra rinse to make sure all the detergent is out of it. If there's detergent build up in your nappies, it can help other things build up and it can affect the absorbency, so you don't really want that. So tweaking your wash routine is important. Making sure that you're using a long wash, like a long cotton wash. I use the intensive baby wash because it uses the most water, so that makes it a really intensive, decent wash. And washing at 60 degrees. Not everyone likes washing at 60 degrees all the time. I do recommend it. If you don't do it all the time, at least do it maybe a couple of times a month, just to make sure your nappies are getting really clean, and that is the recipe for doing it. So what I will do is I will link below my video on how to wash your cloth nappies. I'll link below my article, which is a step-by-step guide, 6 steps to success of washing your nappies. Other things you can do if you're still finding problems is to just have a look at what else is going on around the nappy. So how long are you leaving the nappy sitting there for? I don't recommend they sat there for any longer than 3 days, 4 days max. So wash every 3 days is kind of perfect. Sometimes night nappies as well can get more heavy build up, because as your child starts to sleep longer and you change their nappy, if you don't change their nappy throughout the night like I don't now, so sometimes rinsing your night nappies in the morning, and that's literally simply under a hot tap in the sink, just give them a rinse out, you know, rinse them out, wipe your sink down afterwards, can help. I used to do that with my daughter. I haven't found I needed to do it with my son yet, and perhaps as he gets older that might be a thing. Other things you can do, and it sounds really mad, but is putting your nappies in the rain. The rain is a really great natural stripping agent because the water's really soft. If you've hung your nappies out one day and it starts to rain, don't run out there to get them. Let them get wet in the rain, then maybe bring them in and just give them a quick rinse before you hang them up again to dry. Or, you know, if you see a thunderstorm coming, run out and hang them up. This is also really good for softening your nappies because it's the water soft. Sometimes nappies can get a bit like in hard water, especially wipes can get a bit crunchy, a bit harder. So if you're all night nappies, I know the little lamb nappies are like nice fluffy ones, but they can get a bit crispy, so hanging them out in the rain will soften them. And yeah, it's a really good way to do it. But hanging them in the sun will also bleach them white again, so that's another tip for you. Things I really don't want you to do if you get smelly nappies. First is don't be tempted to soak them. There's no need to do this. It's really messy if you're soaking nappies or like leaving them in like I know people have like a tiny bit of bleach in their water and then leave them to soak. It's just grim. And you know, if you're putting a dirty nappy in water, I know this used to be the way to do it and this is the way a lot of people do it, but then you've got to get that into the washing machine. Like, how do you do it? You have to get them out and like squeeze them out, or like just throw them in the washing machine and then there's like mucky water on the floor. Like, I don't know how you do it. It's grim. You don't need to do it. It can affect elastic if they're soaking for too long, and their absorbency and their lifespan, so just you don't need to do it. It's recipes out there to help ammonia, like using washing up liquid or vinegar. These will also like affect the lifespan of your nappies and are unnecessary and don't really work, so don't do those. Just do a simple strip wash, and if you have to, if you really feel like you want to get a really deep clean, what I call a reset clean, is do clean cloth nappies recipe that I have linked below. Although it's behind a paywall, I don't think it's very much. Don't use nappy sand. Nappy sand was used on old school terry nappies in the past, so people often think they could use nappy sand now, but no, it will again affect the lifespan of your nappies and it's unnecessary. Don't boil wash them. Some materials can be boiled washed and like wouldn't be affected by it, like cotton, but lots of materials used within cloth nappies, particularly the PUL on the outside, will melt at that high temperature and lose their absorbency, lose their waterproofness. I hope that has solved all your ammonia problems. I hope it stops them happening if they haven't happened yet, and makes you feel a little better if they have happened. Like, don't worry, it's nothing to feel guilty about. These things happen. I hope we solved that for you now. If you do have any questions, like still having problems, feel free to drop me a message. You can comment below this video and I will always answer your comments, or you can pop over to Instagram, which is linked in the description below, and have a chat with me there. I'm always happy to have a chat with you about your cloth nappy problems and hopefully solve them. We can move through it, we can chat together, become part of the community over on Instagram as well. There's lots of other cloth nappy mums there that are willing to show support. So have a great day. Please do like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you. Come and watch some other videos that I do, like day in a life of a cloth nappy mum and our natural zero waste home. Have a great day and thank you so much for watching.